You've got ideas, you've got ambition, you've got no time, or so you think. I'm Marissa Lonick, and I help busy moms with big dreams and no time. Join me each week as I dive into time management strategies, goal setting and achieving framework, and inspiring guests who are juggling mom life, work life, fill in the blank life. Dreams don't work unless you do, and just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't still make it happen, whatever it means to you. Welcome to the Mama Work It podcast. Hello, friends, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the Mama Work It podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Marissa Lonick, your host, working mama of 4 kiddos and founder of Mama Work It, where we support super ambitious women in the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So if you are tuning in today, you are in for a real treat. Today, friends, I am going to dive into some big ideas, not only when it comes to starting a business, but starting a business as a working mom, which is a whole nother ball game. Like, this is likely not the calmest season to make a big career change like this one, to take big risks to add on to your very full plate. But if entrepreneurship is calling your name, you probably will not be able to ignore it, at least without some form of very deep regret. So we're going to go there. We're going to help you gain clarity. We're going to help you gain momentum. We're going to help you gain tips and tricks to make this work for you. Now, here's the thing. If you've been around here for a while, you know I wrote a book on this. The book is called Biz MOMagement, The Working Mom's Guide to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur. It came out in 2022. It's basically a must read if you're making that transition from traditional working mom to mompreneur. And so I thought today's episode would be best if it could really take a piece of that book and give it to you. And that's exactly what I did. I'm going to literally read you a chapter from the book. We're doing it. The chapter that I'm going to read to you is called Why Mompreneurship is Different Than Entrepreneurship. And if you like what you hear, if you're vibing with what I'm saying, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, I would highly recommend you go and you get the full audio version or paper version or electronic version, whatever version speaks to your heart, and read the full Biz MOMagement, because it is so damn good, so helpful, so relatable, so motivating, so truthful, so good. So if you like what you hear today on this little sneak peek of the book, go pop it in your Amazon cart, prime it over, or get immediate access on Audible or Kindle. All right, so without further ado, here it is. Enjoy. Chapter 10, Why Mompreneurship is Different Than Entrepreneurship. In this chapter, we're going to take a minute to talk about the elephant in the room, mom guilt. Mom guilt is real. Mom guilt is lame. And mom guilt will almost definitely visit you more often when you're a mompreneur. This seems like a total oxymoron, as many moms decide to go into business on their own because they want to be able to spend more time with their kids and not be at the mercy of a 9-to-5 schedule. But the funny thing is, you don't realize until you're actually in the entrepreneurial world how all-consuming it can be. I once saw this reel on Instagram that said, I didn't want to work a 9-to-5, so now I work 24/7. It was in relation to leaving your 9-to-5 job as an employee and becoming an entrepreneur. This is funny, but also it's not. Nobody signs up for entrepreneurship wanting to work all the time. Yet this happens more than you think. And as a mom especially, this does not feel good. In fact, it is way more likely to negatively affect you because you are essentially doing everything you said you didn't want to do if you adapt to this lifestyle. Let's dip our toe and learn more. Actually, let's just dive right in, full body in a pool of ice cold water, because you need to hear this before you do this. And if you've done it, you need to feel seen, because, girl, you are definitely not the only one. First, think about a time you were so engulfed in a project you totally lost track of time. You may have to think back a while. That's okay. But I really want you to imagine it, feel it. Remember that sensation of time just passing you by. Reminisce about that feeling of surprise when you looked at the clock and were like, damn, already 6? Or poked your head up and realized it was already dark out. It can be magical to be in a time warp of passion like that. It can also be a bit scary when you come out of it and realize there's an entire family on the other side of that soundproof glass room you've locked yourself in who want to eat, wonder where their soccer uniform is, need a diaper change, or are having a full-fledged toddler meltdown because their favorite pajamas are in the dirty hamper. Whoa, didn't see that rude awakening coming after a blissful hour or two of passionate, hypnotic, trance-like work. That feeling of bliss disappears faster than you can say, Mommy's here, and solve the world's problems in the next 9 minutes. Next, I want you to think about the fact that as a new entrepreneur, you will likely wear a lot of hats. For a long time, I was a full-fledged solopreneur, and this meant I did every single job in my company. I was the marketing team, the strategy department, the L&D director, the creative brains and executioner of content in all forms, the producer, host, editor, and recruiter of guests for my podcast, the IT department, personally my least fave, the finance team, and every single other thing you can think of on top of that. Basically, I was the mom of the company. As you can imagine, it is easier than you think to end up working all the freaking time. While that's not healthy in any situation, if you were a single 24-year-old with nothing but dreams and free time and maybe a dog who needed a walk every day, you could probably sustain working long hours day after day, especially if you found yourself in those moments of blissful passion like I mentioned before. After a while, you might start to get sick of it and want to date or see friends again. So you'd figure out how to slow down or hire some support or do whatever you had to do to become a well-functioning, well-rounded human being again. You probably wouldn't feel guilty for ignoring your dog a little more than usual while you built a crazy, successful empire from the comfort of your studio apartment in your favorite yoga pants. And you probably wouldn't care that much that you wore yoga pants daily, even though you hadn't visited that yoga studio you were paying $97 a month for unlimited classes because you were on your way to making it rain $1,000 bills. Knock, knock. Welcome back to reality, Mama. You're not a 24-year-old single woman with a cute dog as her sole responsibility. You're a mom. You have tiny humans who rely on you heavily. You might be married, and if you are, you're in a relationship you probably care deeply about that you don't want to end because you decided to start a business. And finally, you have a nemesis you can't shake who makes you remember all these things and tries to stop you from doing anything unless it's serving others in your life. Guilt. Not to mention, once you end your very busy job of being your company's everything, aka your company's mom, you now step into your second shift of being the real mom, which, as you know, is a slew of many, many roles as well. Chef, out loud reader, homework support, driver, laundry doer, schedule holder of every single activity for every single person in the house. And I will stop there, but I know there are plenty more I've missed. While you may be able to bliss out on your biz, you'll also likely be rudely taken back to reality when you hear a toddler screaming or get a shoe thrown at your head, not on purpose, because said toddler was kicking and screaming so hard it flew off his foot and landed right smack in the back of your head as you were zoning out on a marketing strategy for launching your next product. This chapter is not meant to make you feel like you're at a disadvantage. Oh no, honey. That's not what this is about. In fact, being a mom puts you at so much of an advantage more than that 20-something single broad. Your life experience, your resilience, your ability to function and function well on such little sleep, all of this is fuel you can add to your entrepreneurial fire as you maximize efficiency and learn how to work to live rather than live to work. These qualities, some may say, can only be learned once you've been thrown into the fire, the parenthood fire. So while some days it may feel like motherhood is holding you back, fear not, friend. Motherhood has gifted you something so special and unique that your 20-something single self could never fully grasp, no matter how many TED Talks she watched, Udemy courses she completed, and personality assessments she took. You are at a significant personal growth advantage, and you are going to take that glass half full mindset and apply it to everything you're doing as a mompreneur. The key to running a business and running a family is simple. Just like any other time management advice I give to my clients, it's no different here. Are you intrigued? Are you perplexed? Are you ready to hear it? Okay, here it is, Mama. Prioritize what matters, forget what doesn't. That's it. How do you know if you're prioritizing what matters? Well, first off, what are your priorities? List them out. Write down what exactly is important to you. I imagine your list will go something like this: my health, my family, my relationship with my spouse or partner, if applicable, my business, my 9-to-5 job, if applicable, my goals, my friendships, my home. Before we dive into the rest of this exercise, I want to make sure you understand the importance of your health and why it must be on this list, if not the first thing on this list. In order to tell you about this, I'm going to share a quick story with you about why this became my most important priority and why it should be yours too, above everyone and everything in your life. Years ago, I went to a women's circle led by an incredible female therapist. She is a former yoga instructor, the most zen mother I've ever met, an inspirational human, and a downright knockout physically. Basically, she is goals, and I am so here for anything this woman has to say. She asked everyone in the group to write down their values. Everyone did, and a few minutes later, we were asked to share. There were a lot of beautiful words revealed, all of which anyone could easily argue are important and probably should be a top priority in anyone's life. Yet, no one, not one person listed their health as a core value. Literally, no one. The leader stopped once we'd all had our turn to share and challenged us about this. We were all confused. Well, yes, of course health is important, but more important than patience? More important than generosity? More important than ambition? I'm not so sure about that. And then she said something I will never forget. If your health is not your number one value, you can't be any of those things to their full potential. Talk about a mind-blowing moment. Wow. If you want to be a patient mother, you need to feel your best. If you want to spend time volunteering and helping others, you need to feel your best. If you want to have the energy and motivation to ambitiously grow your business, you guessed it, you need to feel your best. And you can only feel your best when you're taking care of your health. Think about it. On days when you're under the weather or feel mentally drained, you don't deliver the output you'd hoped for. You either physically can't, or it feels so incredibly hard to focus or create or even think. You're not your best self. If you're not prioritizing your health, you can count on the fact that you won't be able to prioritize anything else to its full potential. Now, go rework your list if health isn't your number one and come back to continue. Once you've got your list down, you're going to take inventory of how you're spending your time. Over the course of a day or week, what does this look like? Do these tasks, these hours align with your priorities? Are they contributing to your health, to your family, to your business, to your specific priorities? Are there things on there that aren't? I'll venture to guess there are. This exercise isn't made to make you feel guilty about that. Not at all. In fact, it's the furthest from it. It's made to make you aware of how you're spending your time so you can make a few very simple changes to switch things up and prioritize what matters. Not only is this key in giving you the structure you need to balance entrepreneurship and motherhood, it's the foundation of living your life in alignment, which equals living your best freaking life. Boom. For the purposes of this chapter and for the purposes of putting everyone in a homogeneous box of priorities right now, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess your top 3 priorities are now your health, your family, and your business. Am I right? I know I'm right. And if I'm not right, you can't answer me anyway, so let's just keep going. So, what does prioritizing your health, your family, and your business look like? Here are some examples. Wake up before my family, work out, and hydrate. Go to sleep at a normal hour instead of scrolling social media until my eyelids feel like sleeping babies on my face. Have dinner with my family uninterrupted, no cell phones. Get down on the floor and play a game with my kids, like really play. Ensure I have childcare for X number of hours per week so I can fully focus on my business and know my kids are in good hands. Alternate Netflix and chill nights with my partner with solo business strategy sessions with myself. Get myself a fancy latte once a week and drink it while it's hot while listening to my favorite inspiring podcast or audiobook. Put my phone on Do Not Disturb so I can be fully immersed in my work project and get it done in half the time I had intended because I'm not distracted by every freaking notification going off during that time. Put my phone on Do Not Disturb so I can be fully immersed in my work project and get it done in half the time I had intended because I'm not distracted by every notification going off during that time. When you're a mompreneur, you need to live your life with this trio of priorities. Sure, we have other priorities, but most of them will fall into these 3 main categories. For example, seeing friends is good for your mental health. Done. Taking care of your home and having order there is good for your family, and also probably good for your mental health. Having uninterrupted time to work without feeling constantly pushed and pulled in another direction is good for your business. And once again, your mental health. Are you seeing a pattern here? Living a healthy life is good for you and good for everyone and everything around you, including your other important priorities. Period. Set the intention every single day to do something that is serving your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health. This is an integral part of the daily foundational formula I developed in my journal planner, Word to Your Mother, A Mama's Guide to Journal Today and Slay Tomorrow. Taking care of these 3 areas of your life is crucial if you want to thrive in productivity. Need some inspiration? Here are 20 ways to make that happen, even when you feel like you're a busy working mama. Number 1. Wake up before your kids and spend 10 quiet minutes doing breath work or meditating. Number 2, move your body every day. You can totally make this happen, no matter how tied down you think you are. Take a power walk while pushing the stroller. Take your dog for a quick jog around the neighborhood. Do a 20-minute YouTube workout. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Number 3, listen to worship or uplifting music while you're in the shower. Number 4, listen to a podcast or audiobook that teaches you something during a commute or while you're driving to pick up your kids. Number 5, connect with a friend through Voxer or text messages in between meetings. Number 6, have a good cry. Believe it or not, crying is healthy. Feeling deep emotion helps energy move throughout your body and even be released when needed. If you don't feel the feels, that energy remains stagnant and creates blocks that can make you feel stuck. So go watch a good tearjerker and cry it out, sister. Number 7, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. I believe the quota is to drink half your body weight in ounces of water daily. Do that, then add a few more because you're an overachiever. Number 8, Pray. Number 9, read positive affirmations aloud to yourself. Write them on sticky notes where you'll see them often. Train your brain to not just believe, but to know without a doubt you are an unstoppable, badass woman. Number 10, tailor what you see on social media. Follow accounts that lift you up. Unfollow ones that bring you down. Number 11, be informed, but on your own terms. Don't be a passive news watcher, aka don't have the news blaring in the background during your day. This sets the bar low and conditions you to think the norm is much worse than it actually is. The media tends to only report news that is negatively based and downright sad. This is not where you want your vibrations to live and your frequencies to be. Number 12, have a dance party with your kids for no apparent reason other than it's Tuesday evening and you feel like dancing. Number 13, watch a documentary about something interesting instead of watching The Real Housewives of Anywhere. Number 14, watch The Real Housewives of Anywhere because sometimes your soul might need that. Number 15, put on a face mask. Number 16, exfoliate. Number 17, celebrate yourself like you would celebrate anyone else. Number 18, have some spontaneous fun. Number 19, cook or bake something that you haven't had in a long time and brings you back wonderful memories and immense pleasure when you eat it. If you're not into making it yourself, buy it. Number 20, declutter and organize your pantry, your linen closet, or your own closet. Get pretty organization containers or labels and have at it. Then admire your work every time you open the door and see your beautifully organized space. Why is it so important to make time and space to take care of our mind, body, and soul daily? Because without these regular practices, we get depleted. And when we get depleted, we burn out. And when we burn out, it takes a lot more than a face mask to revive us back into mompreneur life. We're already juggling what looks impossible to many spectators watching us. When you crash and burn, going that speed without the proper safety gear, it takes months and months of physical therapy to learn the basics again. Don't let that happen. Wear your helmet. Do the speed limit. Don't text and drive. Be a responsible captain of the mompreneur ship so you can make it to your destination safely and in one piece. When you're in a place of feeling fulfilled mentally, physically, and spiritually, you're best equipped to be a kick-ass mom, wife, employee, and now, entrepreneur. You have loads of energy. You have tons of motivation. You have an incredible amount of patience and resilience. And that guilt we talked about earlier in this chapter, that guilt doesn't stand a chance against your solid armor of self-care. Why? Because you know what's important. You've prioritized it. Does this mean you'll always feel balanced? No. Balance is a myth. Some days you'll give 70% to your business, 20% to your family, and 10% to your health. Others, you'll give 50% to your health, 40% to your family, and 10% to your business. It will be rare that you have consistent equal third equivalent days. What matters is how you feel. When you look back at your week, how do you feel about where you showed up? Are you spending your time in line with your priorities? Are you using that time intentionally? Are you getting distracted by time sucks and energy vampires that have no business hanging around your priority bar? Put up a no loitering sign and move on. You must be intentional about where you're dedicating your time and energy, or else your business, your family, and most importantly, you will suffer. Take it or leave it. How is mom guilt showing up in your life right now? What are the top 3 areas of your life you will ensure are prioritized daily? Hint: health, family, and business are some good ones. What are 3 things you'll commit to doing to take care of your mind, body, and soul today? Go ahead and use some of the ideas mentioned in this chapter if they resonate with you. That's what they're there for. Okay, mama friends, that is that. I hope you enjoyed listening to that portion of Biz MOMagement. Writing that book was so cathartic for me as a mom and an entrepreneur. The journey has been incredible. It's been hard. It's been amazing and even sometimes questionable. and all the things, but it's never been one I've regretted ever. So if you are finding yourself in this crazy place of feeling all the feels, maybe even feeling a little crazy, I totally get it. And if you want to chat directly about anything entrepreneurship and motherhood, please go right ahead. Schedule a time to do that with me. I've got a few spots open right now in our Biz MOMagement 90-day program, and even more limited spots available for one-on-one coaching. So if this message speaks to you, let's connect, hopefully snag you one of those places to get you set up for success in your entrepreneurial journey. I am rooting for you and cannot wait to watch you do the thing. I will see you soon, Mama. You've been listening to the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and would love if you could take a quick minute to leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening from, and maybe even send a note to a fellow mama friend recommending it. Reviews and recs help this podcast grow and reach more like-minded, awesome moms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click that button so we can stay in touch, girl. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mama Work It website, please do. There are lots of free resources and great articles there that can help you with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So head on over. Thanks again for being part of the tribe. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, keep on working it, Mama.